Hey, Larry, you there?
Jeff, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, nothing much. How's things out there in North Carolina?
Man, things are awesome. I'm excited to be on the webinar. Are we broadcasting yet or anything? Or
Yeah, we're live right now, and I'm really excited because I know
okay.
all the things you're doing out there right now in North Carolina. These properties you're buying for 3,000, 5,000, and selling them with these huge profits. Why don't we go in and get started? How's that sound?
Man, that sounds great. It looks like we got a lot of people hopping on the line here. And can you guys hear us out there? Just pop in on your chat there if you can hear us and let us know you can hear us. Okay, yeah. Angie, okay, I see. Good. Yeah, excellent. They can hear us. They can hear us, Jeff.
All right, well, let's get this started. Folks, it's Jeff Adams. I'm really excited to be with you tonight. You know, when I first heard of how Larry Goins was buying dirt cheap houses at only $5,000 and selling for only $30,000 on a buyer's list without any cash or credit, I just had to get him on the line here tonight to teach you exactly how he does it. Isn't that right, Larry?
Yeah, man, and I'm really excited. I got to tell you, Jeff, you and I have had many conversations. We talk on a regular basis, and you know now, right now, it's the perfect storm to be doing what we're doing and what I'm going to share with your students today.
Absolutely. And just to give a little background on Larry, he's been a mortgage broker for over 13 years. He's a hard money lender. He does funding all over the United States. He's been a licensed real estate broker since 1986, been a contractor since 1987. He was the former president of the Metro Atlanta Real Estate Investors Association in 2003-2004, which is the largest nonprofit investor association in the Carolinas. And on top of that, Larry has created a unique system. You will be amazed when you see how easy it works. His filthy riches system is actually faster, easier, and safer than wholesaling. Larry has bought and sold houses in 10 different states and never looked at a single one of them. Wow, that's amazing, Larry.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's really cool. It really is. And I've got a lot of great step-by-step details that I'm going to share with your students today.
By the way, Larry, I know you usually don't do this, but would you mind sticking around at the end for some Q&A?
Well, for you, Jeff, I guess we can do that.
All right, that sounds awesome.
Well, go ahead and submit your questions there on your screen, and we'll try to stick around and answer all your questions. If we don't get to all of them, I promise you, we'll give you a call and answer your detailed questions. So take a lot of notes. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hydrant. So, Jeff, if you're ready to go, I'm going to slip my headset on here right quick. You might hear a click or something, but I'm going to get my headset and we'll be ready to go.
Sounds good. Take it away, Larry.
Let's jump right in. What if I could share with you a system to buy a rundown $5,000 house no one else wants and make more money with it in the next 30 days than most investors make on a $100,000 house, guaranteed? And what if it was a proven system so easy you could do it anywhere in the U.S. from the comfort of your own home with no cash, credit, or experience in today's market, and I provided you with all the money to do it? How about this? And what if by simply having the system and making money with it, you can get it for free, okay? Now, as I talk to a lot of investors, I travel around the country, I've even been out of the country speaking and teaching, and I hear a lot of things come up. And some of you may be wondering the same things that I hear as I travel around the country. Number one, am I ever going to close a deal? Number two, will my family ever believe in me? Will I ever be able to quit my job? When will I get some breathing room? I hear that a lot. Do I have what it takes? Is real estate really for me? Will I be able to keep my current home? Some of you even concerned about that. I hear that a lot. When will I stop buying courses and start buying houses? Well, guys, I got to tell you, there is hope, and today is the day, all right? Also, if you have some cash to invest, you may also be wondering, what can I do with the money I have? Where can I make a great return? Where can I find a secured investment? How can I help my child or grandchild? How can I start a family business? And how can I make money fast with what I already have? Well, the good news is today is your day too, okay? Let me ask you a question. Can you really make up to $18,346 on a rundown $5,000 house no one else wants, guaranteed? You're going to like this answer. I don't think so. you can actually make up to $43,937.60. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it here tonight. Now, I have a guarantee for you. I guarantee you, I don't care what you've heard, how you've been trained, how long you've been investing, I'm going to share some things with you tonight that, number one, you haven't heard before, and number two, some of them I actually created and put together. And I'm a big trial and error person. I don't like to present anything to other people until I've done it for a while and I know it's successful and I know it's working. So not only am I doing it, but I have the people in my office that are doing it, and I have a few students that I've worked with on a more personal level to get them up and running and show them how to do it. So I know this is a proven technique and system that anybody can do, and I don't care regardless of what your situation is. First of all, why would you want to listen to Larry Goins? Now, some of you may know a little bit about my story, a little bit about my background, but I'm just going to spend just a minute or so here and share this with you. I've been a licensed real estate broker since 1984. I've been a licensed general contractor since 1985. I used to sell stocks, bonds, and mutual funds since 1986, and I've been in the mortgage business since 1996, and I was also the president of Metrolina Real Estate Investors Association. Okay, I bought my first house in 1986, and I have bought and sold literally hundreds of houses in the last 23 years. I have a company called Financial Help Services. My company, Financial Help Services, does rehab loans and day funding for real estate investors only. That's all we work with are real estate investors. I also have a company called Investors Rehab. That's my company that buys and sells 5 to 10, sometimes 15 houses a month. We have wholesale properties, discounted notes, seller finance properties, and we do this nationwide. It's my business, it's what we do, and I'm going to teach you exactly how we do it. I have a book. It's in the bookstores. You can pick it up anywhere. Barnes and Noble, Borders, Books A Million, even on Amazon. And Michael Gerber actually even wrote the foreword. Michael Gerber is a New York Times best-selling author of the book called The E-Myth and all the various E-Myth books. And he actually wrote the foreword for my book as well. My book is called Getting Started in Real Estate Day Trading. And like I said, it's in bookstores everywhere, okay? I've actually shared the stage with Susie Orman, Michael Gerber, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and even Donald Trump, spoken to thousands and thousands of people and shared the stage with these guys. We also have students using our systems and making money in the U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, China, Israel, the Philippines, Ireland, Chile, and even Denmark. In fact, in the last 91 days alone, I have heard from 26 students who have collectively made over $956,000 in profits using my systems. Guys, that's just the ones that I've heard from. First of all, what is filthy riches? You've heard this term, you've heard me talk about it. What is filthy riches? Filthy riches is a proven system for buying and selling cheap houses anywhere in the USA that no one else wants with none of your own cash, credit, and zero risk, okay? Then selling the property with seller financing and a low down payment to an investor or a first-time home buyer, okay? Then selling the note for immediate cash or collecting the monthly payments for 10 years. Now, it's the fastest, safest, easiest way to put $11,000 to $18,000 cash in your pocket in the next 30 days, guaranteed. And check this out. It's even faster, easier, and safer than wholesaling. Everybody tells you wholesaling is the fastest, easiest, quickest way to get into investing. I got to tell you, I have seen people who can take this system and get up and running and jumpstart their business and have their first deal closed in 30 days with minimal effort. And the reason is because it's such a simple, easy to implement program. It just blows anything else away I have ever seen. Now, let me tell you the secret to why this works so well, okay? Here's the thing. You have to be able to sell the property at 5 to 6 times what you paid. For example, you can't sell a $100,000 house for $500,000 to $600,000 even with seller financing. But you can easily sell a $5,000 house for $25,000 to $30,000 with seller financing and payments less than rent. Check that out. Payments less than rent. Okay? Now, let me tell you how I came up with the filthy riches concept. This whole concept came to me when I was looking at doing bulk purchases. Okay, there's a lot of people out there talking about buying bulk properties, many properties at one time from banks who are selling them. But and I started researching it, and I have had a lot of people present bulk packages to me. But I gotta tell you, okay, let me tell you some of the problems with bulk purchases. Number one, there's no due diligence period. Okay, and when a bank presents a bulk package to you, you've got to make a decision and you have to make it fast. And you don't have much due diligence period at all. There's no pictures. Most of the time on the bulk purchases, you don't even have pictures of the property, so you have no idea what you're getting into. They're giving you a quitclaim deed, which is the lowest type of deed that you can have. You also need a lot of cash to do bulk purchases. Even at $5,000 a piece, if they're selling a package of just 10, and that's a very, very small package, you still need $50,000 in cash. You can't go get a loan for that. Also, a lot of these bulk purchases, there are back taxes owed on them. So you end up buying the property and then you find out there's back taxes. There's also existing code violations on a lot of them. Okay, that's another thing you run into. 2 out of 10 of them are no good. Just from my experience and from talking to other investors who are buying bulk properties, they just consider they're going to have about 8 out of 10 that they can actually do something with. There's trouble getting the deeds. This is something you don't really hear about, but I've talked to people who are doing it on a regular basis, and a lot of times it's 2, 3, 4, even 6 months after they've purchased the property before they can get a deed. And you can't sell a property that you haven't even got a deed in your name yet. There's also no one to get it ready to sell. When you buy a package of properties, if they're in 2 or 3 different states scattered out, you've got to find somebody to go out to those areas and to secure the property, to preserve the property, winterize it if it's winter and it's up north. And you have to have somebody put your sign out there, your lockbox on the door, every single thing you need to sell the property. And there's no one to get it ready to sell if you're buying in bulk, okay? Now let me tell you why I came up with the filthy riches concept, okay? The 2 biggest challenges I hear from investors as I travel around the country is number 1, where to get the money. Larry, where do I get the money? I don't have good credit. Maybe you're behind on your bills. Maybe whatever your situation is, you don't know where to get the money. You don't want to have to go to apply for a loan, somebody pull your credit or whatever. And the next is where to find buyers. Everybody talks about building your buyers list, and a lot of people are like, you can't sell a property that you don't have a buyers list for, that you don't have a buyer for. And so many people are afraid to make offers because their biggest fear is, what if the person takes my offer? Now what do? I don't have the money and I don't have any buyers lined up, okay? Well, also, the problems with traditional investing, the money, getting the money, the risk involved, the higher priced properties, the fear, everybody's scared, the buyers, where do you build your buyers list, the competition, everybody's chasing the same deals, delays in closing. You have no control over the closings, okay, because you're at the mercy of your financing. Deals falling apart. A lot of deals do fall apart. The financing for your buyers. Let me tell you why this is so easy. Anyone can do it, okay? There's no loan required for you. No loan required for you. No loan required for your buyer. There's no cash needed from you. There's no problem finding properties. I tell you what, you will never, ever, ever run out of these kind of properties that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to give you some examples here in just a little bit, okay? There's no problem finding buyers, okay? Buyers are everywhere, especially when you can get them payments less than rent. There's no wondering how to get started. It's a step-by-step, very methodical plan, and it's not a huge, long, drawn-out process. There's only about 4 things that you need to do to get started right away. There's no fear factor. We're talking about very small deals here. There's no learning curve whatsoever. You can start right now at the end of this webinar getting started. I'll show you exactly how. There's no credit application. There's no credit check for you. There's no appraisal required. There's no financing delays. There's no limit on where you can buy, okay? There's no limit on where you can buy, but you do want to stay out of the depressed areas, and I'm going to go through that for you as well. There's no competition, no worries, and you can literally close your first deal in 30 days or less. Literally close your first deal in 30 days or less. You control the property. You control the buyer. You control the financing. And most important, you control the closing. There are no closing delays with what I'm going to teach you tonight, okay? Let me give you an example here of a typical deal, okay? This is a typical type deal that we would do. This is a house that we would purchase for $5,000, and we would sell it for $30,000 with seller financing. We would get about a $1,000 down payment for this, and then we would have a $29,000 balance that's financed by us, okay? Now, here's the terms. We'd set it up for 10 years, 11% interest, and the reason we do 11% is it's an interest rate that, as far as I know, you can charge 11% interest, and it's not considered usury or a high cost loan in any state, okay? Now, I'm going to show you in just a little bit how to make sure that that's correct and how to maximize your return, okay? Because you don't ever want to do anything that's wrong or illegal in any state, and I'm going to show you how to protect yourself and make sure that you have exactly what you need and you're compliant in every single state. Now, this one here, payment of $399.48 a month. Total of your payments is $47,937.60. So you bought it for $6,000, you sold it for $30 with $1,000 down, you have $5,000 in it. Now, let's look at this. $47,937.60 total payments received, which is $399.48 times 10 years. Minus your $5,000 purchase price when you bought it is a profit of $42,937.60 plus your down payment that you received, a total profit of $43,937.60 total profit, okay? Now, that's 119.84% return the first year. Where else can you get just under 120% return on your money? I don't know of anywhere. Your break even is in only 10 months. So within 10 months, you will have 100% of your money back in this deal, okay? Or you could sell the note for cash right now, because I know what some of you are thinking, Larry, I don't want to collect $400 a month and have $4,000 tied up in the deal. Okay, that's the $5,000 minus the $1,000 down payment. You want cash right now. Well, I'm going to show you exactly what we can do. Okay, you could sell the note at a 20% yield. In other words, you find an investor, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But you find an investor that would like to get a 20% return on their money. So if you sold that $29,000 note, you would sell it for $20,671.76. That is a profit to you of $16,671.76 on a $5,000 house. Say you can't find any investor that will accept a 20% yield. They want a 25% yield. Well, you sell the note for $17,560. Okay, that's still a $13,560 profit on a $5,000 house. Say you can't even find an investor for 25%. You have to sell it at a 30% yield. You could sell that note for $15,153.75, and you're going to profit $11,153.75 now on a $5,000 house. On a $5,000 house. Is that great or what? Now, this is a closing statement right here. Let me give you a little close-up right here, okay? Look at this. This is a property that we bought, and look how much the bank netted on this. Look at the very bottom right column. I bought this house, and the bank cashed out $12.10 after they paid all the closing costs. Can you believe that? A bank would accept for a property of to net them after closing. The attorney sent the bank a check for $12.10 on this house that I bought. Is that crazy or what? Now, a lot of people wonder, well, why in the world would a realtor want to sell me a $5,000 house? They're only going to get 3% or 6% or 1.5% if they're the buying agent or the selling agent or listing agent, and they have to split it with their broker in charge. But see, these little deals have a minimum commission, okay? On a $5,000 house, it's not going to be, 150 bucks, which is 3% of 5,000. Look at this. Look at the very top line, okay? Total sales broker's commission is $1,200, okay? So the realtors actually made more money than the bank made when they sold the property. The realtors got $1,200. So don't tell me that the realtors don't want to do these deals, okay? Because they are making money when they do these deals. They're not getting just $150 commission, okay? Now, I have a 7-step quick start system, okay? 7-step quick start system, and I'm going to go through it step by step by step right now, okay? Okay, step number 1, funding your deals, all right? Funding your deals is actually the easiest part because check this out. You only need $5,000. You only need it one time, and I'm going to explain that in just a minute, okay? You don't need $5,000 for every one of your deals. You only need it one time, and then you are set for life with this system, okay? Some of you have paid more than that for training. Some of you paid more than $5,000 for training. Now, let's talk about funding your $5,000 deal. You could sell some things on eBay. I know a lot of people that just sell stuff laying around their house, walk through your house, do that. In fact, in the training, I show you exactly what to do and how to do that. You can also get an unsecured business line of credit with no credit check. In fact, there's people out there selling entire courses on getting unsecured business lines of credit. I've got all their websites in my training for you, okay? And I'm going to go through some of that here tonight. Peer-to-peer lending sites like prosper.com, prosper.com, lendingclub.com. You can get on there and you can borrow $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000 on these sites. But check this out, you only need $5,000. Cash partners. You can find a cash partner. Credit card partners. We're not talking about a lot of money here. We're only talking about $5,000. Your credit card, you could use that. A car title loan company. There's some title loan companies out there that if you own a car free and clear, they will loan you money on the title of your car. Self-directed IRAs, that's another good source. Table funding using your note buyer. And the way that works is you get a person to buy the note from you, and then they're going to buy it from you at closing when you buy the property. So they're in essence doing what we call table funding your deal. You're using your note buyer's money to pay off the seller or the bank when you close the deal, and you do it all at the same time. It's a simultaneous type closing, okay? Me, I'll fund the first one for you, okay? That's part of what I do. That's one of the main reasons that I am teaching other people how to do this, what we do and how we do it, okay? Because I want to fund your first one for you. And I'm not going to pull your credit. You're not going to have to do a credit application or any of that stuff. I want to fund your first deal. Sure, I'm going to make a few bucks on it, but that's okay with you. What do you care? You're going to turn around and sell the note, which that's another thing I'll help you do. I'll even buy it for you, okay? Step number 2 is to locate. Step number 2 is to locate. Now, remember, we do all of our business by phone, fax, FedEx, email, and internet. Phone, fax, FedEx, email, and internet, which basically means you can easily do this anywhere where you want to from anywhere. And you will never run out of properties to buy. There's no way you can ever run out of properties. And I want to show you what I'm talking about here in just a minute, okay? There's virtually no competition. You got other investors chasing after houses all the time. There's virtually no competition here. You know how you hear a lot of times the realtor will come back and they'll say, "We need your highest and best offer." It rarely happens in this market because they have trouble getting rid of these properties. But I'm going to show you how to be the one that can scoop these properties up at 15, 20, 25, and 30% of the list price, okay? Now, here's a key point. It's very important that the property not be a total rehab, okay? That's extremely important. You got to pay attention and write that down. It's extremely important that the property not be a total rehab. Let me show you some samples of what not to look for, okay? Now, I know this seems a little over the top, okay? In fact, look at the one there in the top right. It's actually got a for rent sign out in front of it, okay? Is that crazy or what? But I know this is a little off the top, but I want you to get the idea that the property can't be a total rehab. It's got to be close to being able to be moved into. In fact, let's take a look at some interior shots of what you do not want. You don't want a house that's gutted. You don't want a house that's infested with mold everywhere. Sure, a little bit of mold is okay, but where you're going to have to go in and abate all that and get it all out and replace all the sheetrock and stuff, that's another thing. You don't want one with the roofs caving in or the floors rotted out or anything like that. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do all your due diligence without doing an inspection or an appraisal, okay? Now, let's look at samples of what to look for. Here's some samples of some actual deals right here, okay? These are the type of properties that you're going to be looking for. Let's look at some inside shots. Now, these aren't the most glamorous houses, but don't worry about it. You can tell that these houses are livable or close to livable, okay? You can tell that. It's not like that they're falling in, the roof's leaking, the ceiling's falling down, the floors are rotted out or anything. These houses are either livable or close to being livable, okay? Now, let's talk about how to find out what kind of neighborhood a property's in. All right? There's several different ways to do that. And one of them is some of the websites you can go to, like zipskinny.com. I've got a lot more of them in the bookmarks that I'm going to give you. But there's a tremendous amount of ways. But here's one way that we always use to find out what kind of a neighborhood a property's in. Because remember, I'm doing these deals all over. I've done deals in 10 different states. So you've got to be able to find out the exact kind of neighborhood the house is in. So here's what we do. We call the police department on a non-emergency line. Don't call 911 to find out. Call them up on a non-emergency line. And you want to give them the address of this property and ask them how many times in the last year the police was called out to that property. And in addition to that, how many times the police was called out to that street. Okay? And then how many times that the last year the police was called out to that neighborhood. That will give you a very good indication what kind of neighborhood it's in. You don't want to be buying properties in the war zones, okay? Or as I call some of them, the no income area. Not low income, that's okay, but you don't want them in the no income area where people are out hanging out on the streets all day long because nobody's working, okay? Now, let's talk about ways to find properties. There's bank-owned REOs, there's vacant houses, there's realtors, auctions, there's online classifieds, online home sites, eBay. That's a great one. I'll show you a deal here on eBay in a few minutes. For rent signs, for rent ads, there's hard money lenders. A lot of hard money lenders have these deals as well. Code enforcement. We get some of our best deals through code enforcement. Private money lenders, sometimes they take back properties. Property managers is another good source. Bulk REO purchases. Now, I was dogging bulk REOs a while ago, but there are ways that you can buy in bulk from the banks, but you got to know what to do and how to do it, okay? Bird dogs and much, much more, okay? Now, we've narrowed it down to the best ways to find these properties, okay? You are going to find a lot of them from the banks through the realtors, okay? Because one thing I found out is it's easiest if you can go for what I call the low hanging fruit, all right? And that's whatever works best in your area and has the most supply of properties. And I got to tell you, the banks have a tremendous amount of these. In fact, the reason I like to buy them from the banks individually through the realtors is because, as I mentioned, all the problems with bulk purchases. Well, the houses that we're actually buying when we buy them from the banks are the houses that the realtors are having trouble selling, and they've had to reduce the price 2 or 3 times. Like we did a deal recently. It started out at $49.9, went to $39.9, $29, $19.9, and we ended up buying it for $6,500. So they've dropped the price, and then if it doesn't sell after so long a time, they're going to pull it off the market. They're going to put it in a bulk package, and they're going to sell it along with 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 more properties, but they're going to sell it with a quitclaim deed, and any back taxes that are owed they're not going to pay, and they're not going to take care of any code violations. Well, neither one of them are going to take care of the code violations, but they're going to sell it to you, and they don't even know if they have code violations. When you're buying a property through a realtor that's the bank-owned property and it's listed individually, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, okay? As I'm going to show you here as we move forward. Now, let's talk about finding great deals on eBay. Here's a house that I bought actually for $2,550 on eBay. And it was in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a duplex actually, okay? And the guy I sold it to is going to rent it out at a positive cash flow. So he's going to be able to fix it up and rent it out at a positive cash flow, and I only paid $2,550 for it, and I never even saw the property, okay? This is my eBay auction grabber software. This lets you filter out certain keywords that you don't want to find when you're searching on eBay for properties. Like, I don't like the keywords timeshare, lots, land, condos, and townhouses to come up. I only want the single family, multifamily, and commercial. Now, let's talk about finding more deals than you can handle on the internet. I like to use a browser called Firefox. You can get it for free at Mozilla.com. One of the reasons I like it, it has a little feature called tabbed browsing. Now, Internet Explorer has that feature as well, okay? But I still like Firefox much, much better, okay? Well, the neat thing about tabbed browsing, you know how you can save favorites in your bookmarks. Well, with tabbed browsing, you can save entire groups of favorites. For example, these are 11 different web pages that have all been set to the real estate listings of the classifieds, okay? So we set up a group called My Newspapers. And we went to the first newspaper, the Charlotte Observer. We clicked on classifieds, real estate, found all the listings, and we bookmarked it in that group called My Newspapers. We opened up another tab. Did that with the Shelby Star, the Shelby Shopper, Rock Hill Herald, Monroe Inquirer, Statesville Landmark, Belmont Banner, Gasta Gazette. When we were done, we had 11 different newspapers all set to the real estate listings of the classifieds, okay? Now, I got to thinking, if I am going to do this and buy and sell properties in other places as well as train people around the country, even around the world, how can I create a ready-made search system no matter where you live or no matter where you want to buy properties that you can use it for every single thing that you need? And guys, what I came up with was my Filthy Riches internet search system. Now you can search all the newspaper sites, the note buying sites to sell your notes to, real estate auction site, government auction, GIS, realtor sites, MLS, foreclosure sites, private lender, REO sites, people finder sites, note servicing companies, neighborhood analysis, property preservation companies, free appraisal sites, virtual assistants, virtual closing coordinators to handle your closings for you 2 or 3 states away, and much, much more. Guys, you can literally get online, find your properties, do all your due diligence, find everything you need, analyze the neighborhood, analyze the property, find a note buyer, have the note serviced, whatever it is you need, and you can do it all without ever leaving your computer. Is that great or what? Let's move on. Step number 3 is to make offers. Step number 3 is to make offers. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to search for properties that are listed $25,000 or less is the asking price, okay? $25,000 or less. And we're going to end up paying somewhere between 20 and 50% of the asking price, okay? We're going to end up with a plus or minus of around $5,000 for a purchase price. Not every deal is going to be $5,000. You're not going to get many $2,500 deals, but you're not going to be all of them are going to be $5,000. I've paid 543. I've paid 6,000, 5,900, 6,500, 7,500, whatever. You need to just keep it somewhere between just guess around 5 to 10,000, something like that. But for the case of tonight, in these examples, we're going to use an example of a $5,000 house, okay? Now, you want to make your offer on the very first phone call. I only need a couple of things to do that. I need a proven script, and I need the Filthy Riches Analyzer, okay? Which, by the way, everybody on this webinar tonight, listen up, this is very important. Everybody on this webinar tonight is going to get a copy of my brand new Filthy Riches Analyzer. It's not a trial version, it's a full working version, exactly what we use in our office to analyze these deals, okay? This is extremely important, all right? Everybody's going to get a copy of it, and I'm going to show you how to get that here in just a little bit. There's nothing to buy or anything. You're going to get that absolutely free, all right? Now, you can also make your offers by email. What you do is every time you talk to a realtor, you sign up for email notification. All right? And you sign up for email notification. You tell them put you on their list to get property notifications that come on the market that are 25,000 or less. All right? And then you're going to email your offers to them, all right, using the Filthy Riches Analyzer. I tell you what, the last 3 or 4 properties I bought, I haven't even talked to the realtor until we were ready to close the deal. Didn't even talk to him. I made my offer. He got the counter offer. We went back and forth and we negotiated the deal. And then when it came time to get all the paperwork together and close the deal, that's the only time that we ever talked on the phone. So how many of you would like to be able to buy and sell properties and not even have to talk to anybody until you got a deal? Is that great or what? Now, whether you know it or not, you use a script. A written script basically lets you fake it till you make it. All right? You like that? In fact, we have our for sale by owner information form and script, okay? This is very important. You're going to use this to be able to follow up and work with all your for sale by owners, and it asks very specific questions. Also, we have our realtor form and script as well, okay? And we go through, and just to show you a little bit here, here's a little bit about what we tell the realtor. We say, we're an investor, and we buy the cheap, low-end properties that no one else wants and can pay cash and close very fast. I don't need an inspection period. I don't need an appraisal, so we can close very fast, okay? And this gets a lot of our offers accepted, as I'll go into a little bit more detail in a few minutes. Well, here we go. Why do we get so many offers accepted? Number one, we make a cash offer with a 100% deposit. We're not talking about putting up $50 or $100 or $500. If we offer $4,000 on a house, we're going to offer to put up a $4,000 deposit. I mean, this right here alone, when the realtor presents this offer to the bank, the deal is practically closed in their mind because they have 100% of the money that they're selling the property for already in escrow. Number two, there's no inspection needed. When they hear that, they're like all over the place. They love that. There's no appraisal required. Can you believe that? We're buying the property with no inspection, no appraisal, and we're going to put up 100% deposit. And we can close in 10 to 15 days. That's huge. Okay. There's 3 must-have clauses that you need to put in every deal. So write these down, guys. These are very, very important, okay? 3 must-have clauses. Number 1, seller or agent to provide 20 pictures and buyer's approval of condition based on the pictures. Now, this is very important because check this out. We're not getting an inspection. We're not getting an appraisal. We're going to base our due diligence on the 20 pictures that the seller or the realtor gives to us. Okay? And in fact, the actual clause that's in the training, okay, the actual clause is a little bit more in depth and says an agent to provide a buyer with a minimum of 20 pictures, including each room, interior, exterior, street view, any mechanical items, and any repair areas. Okay? And buyer's approval based on the property pictures. So that's our due diligence right there. So if you don't like the pictures, you back out of the deal. Number two, seller or agent to verify no outstanding code violations. This is very important. You don't want to be buying a property that is getting ready to be bulldozed because there's outstanding code violations. And next, seller or agent to place buyer's sign in the window and lockbox on the door. This is huge. When you buy bulk properties from lenders, you have to hire a service to go out there and pay them somewhere between $500 and $1,000, if you can find one, to go out there and secure the property, put your sign in the window, and your lockbox on the door. Right here, the agent or the seller is doing it all for me. Now, notice all three of these clauses. None of these three clauses are any clause that the seller would have a problem with, especially if it's a bank-owned property, because look, the agent's taking the picture, the agent's verifying no code violation, and the agent's putting my sign in the window and lockbox on the door. All the seller has to agree to is the price, and I've already put up 100% deposit. This is why we get so many of these offers accepted. Now, let me tell you about my Filthy Riches Analyzer here, okay? Now, this is a screenshot of it. This is the actual software program that everybody on this webinar is going to get tonight. You can use this. There's no installation required. It's a simple exe file. You just put it on your desktop and pop it open, and it opens right up. Notice that, look at the top left where it says asking price. If they're asking $20,000, and say I want to offer 25% of that, it'll give me the offer amount right below it where it says $5,000. Then it automatically populates over in the my purchase price in the next column, and then I type in what I want to sell this property for. Say I'm selling it for $30,000 with a down payment of $1,000. It will calculate what we call the present value, which is the $29,000 loan amount, and I plug in the interest rate and the total of payments, which I've already plugged in 11%, and 10 years, which is 120 months. And notice on the right-hand column, the payment is $399.48. It figured that for us. It says my total investment of $4,000, which is the $5,000 purchase price, minus the down payment in the center column. And then my yield on this is 119.84%. There's 10.01 months before I get paid back, and a total of all payments is $47,937.60. Now let's look at the bottom. On the left, if I sold the entire note at a 30% yield, I am going to cash out $15,153.75. Now, it tells me the amount of discount as well. My total profit on this deal, selling the note at a 30% yield, is $11,153.76. Now, 75 cents. Now, notice on the right-hand side, I could sell a partial of the note. I don't have to sell all 10 years. I could only sell the first 5 years of payments. If I sold the first 5 years of payments, okay, at the end of 5 years, the person who bought the property from me and I financed it to, they would still make another 5 years of payments to me. So even if I sold the first 5 years of payments at 30% yield, look at the note sale price, $12,435. That's very close to what I got for selling the entire note. And I still have a remaining balance of $18,142. That's a total profit of $32,000 on this deal. So you can cash out almost as much selling half the note, and then at the end of 5 years, I get to collect another 5 years worth of $399.48 a month, and I still cashed out $12,000 right now. Is that great or what? This just blows me away. And the reason is, okay, let me explain this. The reason I can get almost as much money for 5 years worth of payments as I can for 10 years worth of payments is because of what they call the time value of money. Now, having $400 a month come in for the next 5 years is not worth as much now or it's not worth as much if it starts 5 years from now, okay? So we get almost as much money for the first 5 years as we do for the second 5 years that hasn't started yet, okay? I hope that makes sense to you. Now, remember, everyone on the webinar gets a free Filthy Riches Analyzer, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get that near the end of the webinar. Let's move on. Step number 4 is the due diligence, okay? Now, due diligence consists of several things. The pictures, online comps. You're going to go online and you're going to pull comps from the various appraisal sites, neighborhood analysis as well. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to show you more about it, and rent comps as well. You want to be able to pull rent comps and find out what properties are renting for in the area where the property is. And the reason you want to do this is you want to be able to buy and sell properties in areas where you can sell them with seller financing and the payments are less than rent, which is extremely easy to do. Okay, let's talk about some additional due diligence if you want. Okay, now I don't do this additional due diligence, but if it's your first deal, you may want to, okay? Number 1 is a rehab estimate. You can have a contractor go out and give you a free estimate on what it's going to take to fix up the property. Now, having said that, I'm going to show you in the bookmarks exactly where to find contractors in any area, any zip code, anywhere to go out and get you a free estimate on the property. You could also have a home inspection if you want to. You could get a CMA or a comparative market analysis. A realtor will do that for you to be able to tell you what the property will be worth. And you could also get an appraisal. Now bear in mind, I don't do any of these, okay? But if it's your first deal, you may want to at least get a rehab estimate and a CMA. Okay, if it's your first deal, make a note of that. You may want to get at least a rehab estimate and a CMA. Now, here's some other additional due diligence if you want. Let's talk about how to find out the real deal on a neighborhood, okay? Now, I think I already mentioned this earlier about you could call the police department on a non-emergency line and ask them about the information about how many times they've been called out to that house, that neighborhood, that street in the last 12 months. Let's move on. Step number 5 is to sell the property. All right. You can sell it in no time. Sell it to a neighbor is one way. Sell it on eBay, and I'm going to show you one that I sold on eBay here recently. You could sell it online. The free classified sites, the houses for sale sites. You could auction it off. Put a sign on the property. Now, here's what we have the realtor do. Remember I told you that we have the realtor put our sign in the window and our lockbox on the door. When we buy houses that are in a neighborhood that we don't think the local kids or anybody's going to steal our sign, we'll actually have a banner put on the outside of the house with our phone number on it. And this particular banner here says Down Payment Assistance, Special Financing Program, and with our toll-free number on it. And as you can see on the right-hand picture it's a picture of the front door where the realtor has already put our lockbox on it, okay? Here's some sample signs that you can use. And the first one here, down payment and closing cost assistance, low down with our phone number. Here's another one, for sale by owner, owner financing, low payments. Here's the other one, why rent when you can own, special programs. Next one, fixer-upper, owner financing, move in or rent out. I kind of like that one right there. That catches both the investor and the first-time home buyer, okay? You could also sell it on eBay. Here's one of the properties that I sold on eBay recently. There were 62 bids on this property, and the winning bid paid me a $5,101 down payment, okay? I'll tell you more about this deal here in just a little bit, okay? First of all, who are your buyers? Your first set of buyers are investors, rehabbers, okay? Investors/rehabbers. People who are buying properties to fix them up and rent them out, or to fix them up and sell them, okay? Check this out. You think there's investors who would like to buy a house to rent out or flip but can't qualify for a loan? Of course there are. There's a lot of them out there. Some of you may be some of them as well, okay? Well, check this out. You are their only hope. If they want to become an investor, they want to buy a property and fix it up and rent it out, become a landlord and create a cash flow, but they can't qualify for a loan, where else are they going to find somebody to help them? Okay, who are your buyers? Also, first-time home buyers are your buyers as well. Okay? They're tired of the entire loan process, and many of them have given up on the American dream of becoming a homeowner. Okay? You are their only hope. Anyone can afford a $400 monthly payment. We talked about the payment of $399.48. You know, that should be the highest that the payment's going to be, okay? It's a little less than $400 a month, and anyone can afford that, and that's less than what rent is, okay? Let's talk about our home buyer investor information form and script, okay? This is our home buyer information form here, and you're able to get all the information from the home buyer. It's like a little mini credit application, but it's not overwhelming like you would see a regular mortgage loan credit application. In fact, we even have a spot here where they can fill out local credit references that aren't on their credit report, okay? This is very important to help you build a credit file, okay? Let's talk about qualifying the buyer, okay? Because you want to make sure that you get a buyer that's pretty well qualified. The first way is their credit. You're going to want to pull their credit. Unless they're putting down a substantial down payment, you're going to want to pull their credit. And there's certain websites you can go to. They're in the bookmarks, and there's websites you can go to where you can pull their credit absolutely free, okay? You also want to figure their debt ratio. You don't want their debt ratio, meaning how much is going out versus how much is coming in, their income versus all their expenses. You don't want to get over 50%. So, for example, if they're bringing home $2,000 a month, all right, and I know that's a low amount, but if they're bringing home $2,000 a month, you add up all their bills that's on their credit report and add up your payment, and that shouldn't be more than $1,000 a month, okay? So that would be a 50% debt ratio. Next, the down payment. Remember, the higher the down payment, the less we're concerned about their credit, which would be considered a compensating factor. In other words, if you bought a house for $5,000, but the person put a $5,000 down payment down, you're probably not even going to pull their credit, okay? Because you've got nothing in the deal. Your yield is infinite, okay? Let's talk about the paperwork needed. Finance contracts. You need simple, easy to understand finance contracts, okay? You need simple, easy to understand, and easy to implement cash contracts. You need the right clauses, okay? I've already given you some of those clauses. There's certain disclosures you need to be aware of, and eBay listing terms. I sell a lot of my properties on eBay, okay? I sell a lot of them on eBay for $30,000 and they bid on the down payment. There's certain eBay listing terms that you need to be aware of to make sure, okay, to make sure that you don't mess up when you're selling the properties on eBay, and much more. Let's talk about the seller's disclosures here for just a minute. There are certain disclosures that when you sell or rent a property, you have to include. Number one is a lead-based paint disclosure. Some states require an attorney preference and an insurance preference form, okay? Also, a mold disclosure. You want to be sure and get that because you haven't been in the property. You don't know if it has mold or not. You want to give the buyer a disclosure for mold. Seller's disclosure, meaning the condition of the property, that you haven't lived in it and you don't know the condition of the property. A residential property disclosure is a checklist of all the different items in there, whether you know if it has any problems or it doesn't. You're just going to check NA for not applicable or that you don't know on that whole residential property disclosure. I'm going to include all the forms and everything for you as well. Financing disclosures. There's certain financing disclosures that as a lender you have to use. For example, truth in lending and good faith estimate, and any other state disclosures that you may need. Now, the good news is you are not required by law as of right now to provide financing disclosures if you own the property and are selling it with seller financing. However, I think it's extremely important, and I always do provide these required financing disclosures that are required by mortgage lenders and mortgage brokers. And the reason is they're going to change the law someday. Also, I'm going to show you how to get your documents prepared for you for as little as $35 for a complete set of financing docs, disclosures, every single thing you need for $35 for each and every property that you do, and they're guaranteed to be state specific and have any and all disclosures that are required by the state, okay? In fact, that service is Doc Magic. You can go to docmagic.com and set up an account with a credit card, and then whenever you do a deal, all you have to do is fill out the information about the deal, the purchase price, the financing terms, the interest rate, the length of terms, if it's adjustable or fixed, and all the information, the address, the buyer, all that. And DocMagic will calculate and print every single disclosure, every single finance item, every single document that you need to close that deal for financing, and they will email it to you. So all you need to do is forward it on to your attorney and have or title company, depending on what state you're in, and they will have all the financing documents signed for you at the closing. Let's talk about the different ways to service the note, okay? There's a ledger spreadsheet. You can use that. You can also use software, or you can outsource to a servicing company, okay? You could do that. I use a simple, easy to understand ledger. It's very simple. It has a total number of payments on the left, the borrower's name, the property address, the city, state, zip, home, their cell number and email, and when and how much they paid. For example, there's a monthly payment amount, there's the due date, the date received, the late fee, and the next due date. This is very simple. If you're not going to do this, I would suggest having a servicing company do it for you for about $5 per loan per month. They will service your note for you. They'll send out late notices. They'll call them if they're late. They'll add the late fee to it, and they will service your entire note for you, okay? Now, let's move on. Step number 6 is to sell the note. There's many places you can find note buyers. Institutions, big companies make a business out of buying notes for a good yield. There's private note buyers and private real estate investors. Think about this. If a real estate investor is buying rental properties, if they're buying rental properties and they actually are looking for the cash flow, why in the world would they not want to buy notes from you as well? The good news is they don't have to deal with the 4 T's: toilets, tenants, trash, and termites. All they have to do is, if they own a note that they purchase from you, all they have to do is go to the post office and pick up their check every month. Another place to find note buyers is me. I will buy these notes for you. I have a market of people who buy notes. I will buy it from you, and then I'll resell it to one of the people that I sell notes to, okay? And sure, I'll make a little bit of spread there. It's okay, but I can buy these from you, okay? Next. There's certain note seller disclosures that you need to be aware of and you need to use whenever you're selling a note. I'm going to provide you with the entire package of investor agreements, hold harmless agreements, and you always want to sell your notes with no recourse, which basically means if you sell a note to somebody with no recourse and the borrower, the person you sold the house to, quits paying them, that person who bought the note from you is not going to come back to you and say, you sold me this note and the person's not paying anymore, so I want my money back. If you sell it with non-recourse, they can't do that. But if you sell it with recourse, it basically means you are guaranteeing the payment on that note. I hope that makes sense to you, okay? But you always want to sell your notes with non-recourse, all right? Let's talk about a few strategies here that you can do to really get up and running doing this and do it very fast, okay? Number 1, you buy and sell one house and cash out $16,000. Remember, that's selling the note at a 30% yield. So you put $5,000 in a deal, You get a $1,000 down payment, and you turn around and sell the note, and you cash out $16,000. Well, you take that $16,000 and you do two deals with the profit. Remember, there's $11,000 profit in that deal. So you do two deals with the profit, and you cash out $32,000. Then you do six deals with that profit, sell the notes, and cash out $96,000. You take the $96,000. With $96,000, you can literally buy 19 properties, and that's just the profit. And you can sell the notes, and you cash out $304,000, all starting with one $5,000 investment. Okay? You sell all 19 notes and pocket $304,000 with no financing, no banks, no credit application, no credit report. Nobody's going to pull your credit. That's starting with one $5,000 investment, and I'm going to provide that for you if you need help with that, okay? That's if you have to sell them at the lowest price of a 30% yield, okay? If you could sell them at 20 or 25%, you're going to cash out between $400,000 and $500,000. But I wanted to give you absolute worst case scenario, okay? Now, let's look at strategy number 2, massive cash flow. Some of you are already in a situation where you don't need immediate cash, you want cash flow, but check this out. Buy and sell one house and sell the note and cash out $16,000 just like before. Then you're going to do two deals with the profit and sell the note and cash out $32,000. Now you're going to do six deals with the profit and cash out $96,000. Now, so far, it's the exact same strategy as in strategy number 1. But look here. Now, we're going to take the $96,000. We're going to do 19 deals and collect a monthly cash flow of $7,590.12 for the next 10 years. You keep all 19 and pocket $75.90.12 a month. That's $91,000 a year for the next 10 years if you don't ever strike a lick again, okay? You'll have $7,500 a month coming in for the next 10 years. I mean, can you see why I'm so excited about this? This just blows me away. You collect $75.90 times 120 months. That's 10 years. You're going to have a total payback of $910,814.40. How many hours on your current job would you have to work to collect that kind of money? I mean, think about that. One $5,000 start would make the payments on this luxury home. Could you imagine that? You start with $5,000 and you work up the 2, the 6, the 9, the 19, and that would make the payments on this house right here. Is that great or what? Now, here's another little tip for you. Some of these notes will even pay off early so you get the entire amount now without having to take a discount. Say, for example, one of your notes, you got a $29,000 note, and a year down the road, there's like a $28,500 balance or $28,000 balance. That person refinances and pays you off. They pay you off at the full face value or the $28,000 or whatever the balance is at that time, because you don't have to take a discount when they pay you off by refinancing. Now, let's look at strategy number 3. This is cash and cash flow. This is kind of a hybrid of the first two strategies, okay? First thing is buy and sell one house and sell 5 years of payments for $12,435.97, like I showed you in the property analyzer earlier. Then you do two deals with the profit and sell 5 years of that for $24,871. Then you do 6 deals with the profit and sell only 5 years of that for $74,615. Then do 19 deals with the profit and sell 5 years worth of payments for $236,283.43. Guys, You cash out $236,283 now. At the end of 5 years, you have 19 notes paying you $7,590 a month for a total in payments of $456,407.20. So 236,283 plus the 455,000 is a total of $691,690.63. This is like having your cake and eating it too. You're getting cash now plus 5 years from now, you got all this cash flow coming in. That's if you only do 19 deals. You can also borrow the money instead and you keep all the spread. Imagine, instead of getting 119% return like I showed you earlier, and what you can do is you can borrow the money instead of selling the note, just borrow money from somebody else. Could you imagine, instead of selling the note for $12,000, you could actually, or 15,000 in our example, instead of selling the note for 15,000, you could actually borrow 15,000 at say 10 or 12% interest, but you're getting 119% return on your money. So you would have the borrowed money paid back in no time, and you still get to keep the note. You make the spread on it. And I even give you in the training, I give you all of the documents you need to assign the beneficial interest in the note, so you're borrowing money instead of selling the note. That's actually how to get your biggest bang for your buck. Instead of selling the note, having to take a huge discount, you borrow the money instead and you keep all of the spread on the entire note. Isn't that huge? I love that strategy. I love that strategy. You can also use your IRA, and you can use someone else's IRA as well. This is extremely important. And I talked about this a minute ago, table funding with your note buyer's funds for a no money down deal. You can do your very first deal and not even have to come up with the $5,000 because you're going to use your note buyer's funds for a no money down deal. I will do this for you, okay? I will help you fund your first deal. Yes, I'm going to want some of the profit, but I'm going to help you fund your very first deal, but I'm not going to charge you or I'm not going to make you fill out an application, credit report, none of that stuff. All I care about is the property. That's all I care about, okay? Now, I'm sure you're asking, but Larry, what if they don't pay? Well, that is a legitimate concern, but let me tell you something. You can keep a deed in escrow. Now, I urge you to speak with your own attorney or title company about this because every state's laws are different. I don't know of any state you can't do this in, but I want to make sure that you check with your local closing agent or attorney that's doing this. But what you would basically do in this case is you would have a deed prepared at time of closing that is basically your buyer deeding the property back to you. So in the event that they defaulted, your attorney would just record the deed that they're holding in escrow. You could foreclose on the property and resell it. Okay? If you foreclose on it, you're just going to turn around and resell the property to somebody else. You've collected all these payments. Chances are they've done some repair work, they've fixed it up, they're living there or they're renting it out, and you can foreclose on it and then resell it, and you get a whole nother down payment, and you get to start over with a brand new $30,000 sale price, okay? You could pay them to leave. There's nothing wrong with this. I've had people where in the past, it's very rare, but sometimes it happens. If I just want them out, I'll pay them $1,000 just to move out. And I'll tell them as soon as they get all their stuff out, call me. I'll meet them over at the house, and I'll give them $1,000 in cash. That way, they're out of the property, and I can move on. Or you have a local realtor or somebody else meet them over there, okay? You actually make more money when you do end up having to do this because you get to sell the same property 2 times. Is that great or what? Let's move on. Step number 7 is to duplicate. Step number 7 is to duplicate. The system works for you even when you don't. It trains employees for you. It teaches a spouse or partner the business for you. It even gets your teenagers involved in this. You can even hire a virtual assistant for virtually nothing to do all the work for you. Now, there's a lot of people talking about virtual assistants out there, and virtual assistants are great. I actually have 2 of them, but the absolute best part about This system is that it's so simple. It's not like they're all over the place looking for properties here and there in different price range. They're looking for properties listed for 25,000 or less, and they know they want to end up with a purchase price around $5,000, give or take a little bit. So it's extremely easy to find a VA or virtual assistant to work for you, and you can hire them for as little as $1 an hour. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, okay? You could also, your virtual assistant can take calls for you. They can make calls for you. They can make offers. They post free ads. They answer ads. They search for deals, analyze deals, sell properties, sell your notes for you. Anything and everything you can do. You can also have a virtual closing coordinator do all the work for you. Now, a virtual closing coordinator is going to do every single thing to get your closing ready to happen, okay? They're going to make sure you get all your paperwork. They're going to make sure everything's done. They're going to work with the seller, the realtor, the buyer, the attorney or title company, and they're going to line everything up, and they're going to close it, and they're going to charge a couple of $100s to do this. That's okay, but I show you where to find them and where to find the best ones as well, okay? Now, you also need employment agreements, employment application, job description, proposed compensation, pay sheets, all that. If you're hiring people in a house or you're hiring virtual assistants and you're paying them bonuses and things like that, you can literally recruit, train, motivate, and manage them. Now, I know you got to be asking, but Larry, I just want to buy notes. What if I just want to buy notes and get a 20, 25, 30% return? Well, that's okay. In fact, that's a great way to earn a great return on your money. In fact, you can earn as much as 30% or more on your money. And guess what? I will sell you one. If you just want to earn money, a rate of return on your money, you contact me and I'll be more than happy to sell you a note. We have lots of them, okay? You might also be asking, but Larry, what if I just want to buy seller finance properties without qualifying for a loan? Well, that's great too. In fact, you can get $150 to $300 a month cash flow with as little as $1,000 down. And guess what? I will sell you one of those too. If you want to buy one of these properties with a low down payment and be able to fix it up and rent it out, I've got them all over the place. I'll be more than happy to sell you one of these properties with seller financing to help you get started as a real estate investor, okay? Let me show you an actual deal that we recently did, okay? I want to show you an actual deal that we recently did. This is a property that was listed for $18,900 and it had already been reduced a couple of times, okay? We purchased it for $6,000. $6,000. Now, here's some pictures of it. Check this out. It's not a bad looking house, okay? It's not too bad. Now it's and you can tell it's close to being livable. Here's some other pictures of it as well. The kitchen floor is kind of messed up, and there's one window. Remember I told you in the clauses you want the realtor to give you pictures of each room, including any problem areas. So these two windows were a couple of problem areas that the realtor took pictures of. Okay. Now here's the listing that was on. Here's the listing that was on Aquin. This is a bank-owned property that I bought from Aquin, and you can see the list price is $18,900. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family house. Here is the actual deed, tax map information, not deed, but tax assessor's recordings. And if you notice, about 2/3 of the way down, it has a tax value of $39,900. I went to Bank of America's website where they have the comps online, and they said that the estimate of the value of this property was $27,270 right there. Appraisal actually said the value of this house is $70,864. Okay, it had right under that. You'll see it says there's a low of $60,234 and a high of $81,494. Okay, now this is my closing statement right here. Let me zoom in and show you a close-up right here. Look at the bottom right number. The seller, who was Aquin, see down there where the signature is, Aquin Loan Servicing LLC. Look at the bottom right number. The bank, Aquin, netted $851.94 on this property. I ended up paying 31% of the list price. Here's the pictures, like I showed you before, the pictures of the property that we actually had the realtor go out and put our banner up and our lockbox on the door. I put this property on eBay. I put it on eBay with no reserve, handyman fixer, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, Birmingham. I actually found out it was a 1.5 bath, not a 2 bath house. Okay? And look at my listing header. Owner financing, low down payment, live in or rent out. Look at this, the bid history. I had 62 bids on this one house. The winning bidder paid me $5,101 on a house. I paid $6,000 for the entire house. Here is the check that they sent me. $6,000 purchase price minus $5,101 down payment. I have a total of $899 invested in this property. I sold it for $30,000 with the $5,101 down payment. That left a balance financed of $24,899. 10-year term, 11% interest. They're paying me $342.98 a month for the next 10 years. That's a total of payments of $41,158.05 right there. That is a 788% return on my money the first year. Where else can you get a 788% return on your money? I don't know where. All right, look here. My break even is in less than 3 months. In less than 3 months, I have my entire investment back. I could sell the note for a 20% yield and sell it for $17,747, and I would profit $16,848 on a $5,000 house. What if I sold the note for a 25% yield? I'd be selling it for $15,076 and profit a little over 14 grand. What if I had to sell it at a 30% yield? I could sell that note for $13,010 and I would still profit a little over $12,000 on a $5,000 house nobody else wants. There's zero zip nada computer skills, internet skills needed, guaranteed. Anybody can do this, okay? You can run your entire business from anywhere, guaranteed. I've actually done these deals, bought, sold, and closed them while I was traveling, while I was on vacation. I did one of them while I was on a cruise ship one time. Now, let me tell you about the 4-step quick start checklist. You might want to jot this down, okay? This is what's going to get you started right off the bat. Number 1, you need to learn to identify profitable properties listed under $25,000 that do not need total rehab, okay? Next, line up your funding so you can make all cash offers and buy at least one filthy riches property, okay? When I say line up your funding and pick me, I will help you. I'll do your first deal with you, okay? I'll put up the money to do your first deal. Sure, I'm going to want a percentage of it. That's okay. I'm a firm believer I'd rather have a little bit of something than all of nothing, but I'll put up your money for your first deal. Plus, I'm going to help keep you from making mistakes because I'm going to be watching over your shoulder the whole time we're putting this deal together. Next, number 3, line up your note buyers so you can have them sold as soon as you find a buyer for the property. Hey, if you want to sell it to me, sell it to me. If you have note buyers, that's great, but if not, I'll buy the note from you, okay? And number 4, start making offers. Guys, it really is that simple. When I told you this was easier than wholesaling, I meant it. This is the fastest, quickest, easiest way I know of to make money in real estate. And anybody, I mean anybody, regardless of your situation, you can do this, okay? Let me tell you about the Filthy Riches program here, okay? Now, this is the Filthy Riches training program, and this is totally brand new, newly released. I got to tell you, this is the first webinar I have actually done on this, and it's brand new. It's hot off the press. I've spent the last 10 months over 250 hours putting this entire training program together because I want to buy houses from you. I want to sell houses to you. I want to buy notes from you. I want to sell notes to you. I want to work with you, so I want to give you all the tools you need. The first tool that comes with the course is the step-by-step training manual. Next, I have 6 full-length audio CDs, and all 6 CDs go through the whole system from beginning to end. You're not going to miss a thing, okay? Next, complete forms disc. Every form, document, spreadsheet, letter, property analyzer, everything is on there, okay? Live calls with realtors. This is me on the phone live negotiating, making offers on deals. And one of those deals I actually bought, I have 2 or 3 calls on there with the same realtor about the same property to show you how easy it is to put this together, okay? Next, I have live calls with buyers. This is me taking calls from the signs that people called about. When they saw the sign in the window or the banner on the side of the house, they called, and I just went through the script and I did it, and I was able to find out how much down payment they have, how much payment they can handle, and that sort of thing. And you're going to hear it live. Next, I have transcribed the calls with realtors and the calls with buyers. So if you can listen to it, you can read it. So you have the transcription manual of the live calls. Next, DVD tutorials. I walk you through using everything, using the property analyzer. I show you exactly how to import your bookmarks, how to customize your bookmarks. I show you how to bid on eBay on a property, how to find, how to do your due diligence, and how to bid on eBay. I also show you how to sell on eBay. I even have one of my listings that was on eBay. I went through it and showed you exactly how to list your properties, and I even give you an eBay template to use to make sure that you have every single one of the terms and conditions for your eBay listing, okay? I give you the Filthy Riches Property Analyzer, all right? Step-by-step action plan, okay? Anybody can start a program, but not everybody can finish. Well, see, we have a system in place for that as well, because I'm going to give you a step-by-step action plan that's going to go through, show you what to do and how to do it. It's not just read this, watch this, listen to that. It's step-by-step, and it's going to get you up and running, all right? And you don't ever have to worry about where do I start. I'm going to show you exactly how and where to start, okay? Next is the Filthy Riches Internet Search System. Now, this sells for one easy payment of $997, okay? It is what it is, what it is. I don't jack it up and then lower the price. I mean, I don't play those games. I don't believe in that, all right? It's one easy payment of $997, but I'm going to do something really special here. I'm going to also give you an option to take 2 easy payments of $498.50. That's just $997 divided by 2. Okay, one easy payment of $997 or 2 easy payments of $498.50. Okay, now let me tell you about this special bonus package, and it's going to be for the first 12 people only. Okay. This special bonus package is just for the first 12 people, and I'm going to show you exactly what all the bonuses include. Number 1, 12 months of unlimited personal support with me and my team, okay? 12 months of unlimited personal support. I mean, I have a vested interest in your success. I want to do deals with you. I want to help you. I want to work with you, okay? I mean, think about it. How many of you would feel more comfortable knowing you had a resource to call on that knew the system better than anybody? The one who created it. That's me. You could call me. You can email me. You can stop by, whatever it is you need help on. I'll even get on 2-way calls, 3-way calls with you and your seller or realtor and help you negotiate deals. It's not a big deal. I have a vested interest in your success, and I want to help you put these deals together. And I had a lady a while back that she said, you know, Larry, I love this. I want to get the bonuses, but my problem is I just moved down. I just changed jobs. So it's going to be a few months before I can take this out of the shrink wrap and get going. So can you extend my support for a few months? So I got a new rule. Look at this. Your 12 months starts from the date of your first support question. So if it's 6 months before I hear from you, you have 12 months of support starting 6 months from now. Is that great or what? Okay, let's move on. My personal REO bank directory. This is the bank directory that lists every REO department, bank's name, website, address, foreclosure department, phone, fax, and email. It's great for when you find these vacant properties, you need to know who to talk to at the bank. You'll have that. Next is my UFO Ultimate Find the Owner software. This is totally upgraded for the Filthy Riches program. When you find a vacant property, you use the search system to find out who the owner is, but it's vacant. You don't know where the owner is. So all you do is come out here and you enter their first name, last name, city, and state. You click search. It goes out to the internet. It searches all of the top free people finder websites. It types in their name for you. It clicks submit for you, and it displays their current phone number and address right on your screen for you. Now, I'm going to offer you what I like to call an ethical bribe, okay? Basically, I'm going to be selling this on my website very soon for $299. Before I start selling it, I would like to get some testimonials on it. So all I'm asking you to do, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you as one of the first 12 people, but all I'm asking you to do is simply use it and then shoot me an email and let me know how you like it so I'll have it as a testimonial for when I start selling it, okay? Next is my eBay Auction Grabber software I showed you earlier that allows you to filter out certain keywords that you don't want to come up in your eBay auction whenever you're searching for the properties with no reserve, like timeshare, lots, land, condos, all that good stuff, okay? Next, I'm going to give you $50 referral vouchers. When you refer somebody to me that invests in the Filthy Riches program, I'm going to give you, okay, a $50 referral voucher that you can, anybody you send me when they invest in the program, I'm going to send you $50. And you can send as many people as you want and collect as many $50 checks as you want. Next, a free one-on-one with my personal CPAs. Guys, I am a firm believer in having a good CPA on your team. My guys only work with real estate investors. These guys are phenomenal. You can go over tax strategies, tax planning, entity structure, asset protection, and much more. As you know, every successful person has a coach or mentor. I have a coaching and a mentoring program, and yeah, there's a fee for it, but what I do want to give you is a free Filthy Riches investor profile with my startup specialist. We want to find out where you are, what your situation is, and how we can best help you get started buying your first Filthy Riches deal. And to show you our commitment to you, we are going to call you first. Next, I'm going to give you a free proof of funds letter with no application, no credit check. You can make cash offers, use it for FSBOs, realtors, or banks. It's going to be a complete proof of funds letter you can use to make your all cash offers. Next, I'm going to give you free addition to my student only short list. This is a short list of investors that you will get advanced notification of my wholesale properties, my seller finance properties, and my discounted notes nationwide. So when you become one of my students, you're going to get advanced notification of my wholesale deals, my seller finance deals, and my discounted notes that we have, okay? And remember, you could buy a house from me for as little as $1,000 down. Next, I'm going to give you free lifetime updates. Now, even though this program is brand new, I just created it for what we're doing in today's market, I am going to give you access to a membership page where you can log in, you set up an account, you log in, and any update that I ever do, you will get access to it. We'll send you out an email, say we've just made an update to Filthy Riches. Log on here and you can download your update. I'm not going to mail you out an updated manual or disc or anything like that. I'm going to put it on this private members only site. It's like a membership site, but without a membership fee. It's absolutely free and it's to students only, okay? And as you see here from the words in red, it says your IP address is and host name has been identified, and that way you can't share it with other people and give your login to other people. It's only for people who own the course, okay? Next is 3-day boot camp. I have a boot camp where we teach what we do and how we do it. We normally charge $2,500 per person, but I'm going to give you admission for 2 people to any 3-day boot camp absolutely free, okay? Any 3-day boot camp absolutely free, and I have them all over the country, north, south, east, and west. I do about 6 or 8 of them a year. We used to only do them in Charlotte, North Carolina, but we started branching out, and we're doing them all over the place now. So we're coming to a city near you, okay? Total value with the bonuses and the boot camp for two is $8,937. Okay? $997 includes the bonuses and the boot camp for two. Remember, it's for the first 12 people only. Okay? It's for the first 12 people only. Now, this is the easiest, fastest, safest, shortest, secure, no risk way to make money right now, guaranteed. I mean, if I had somebody that was threatening me or my family, my children, my wife, and they said, you got to make $100,000 in the next 30 days, this is exactly what I would do to do it. There's no doubt in my mind I could do this. Okay? Now, let me tell you about my Larry Goins exclusive reverse the risk guarantee. All right, I am going to be the one to take all the risk here tonight. In fact, this is something you've never seen. I'm going to give you a full 12-month, $12,000 guarantee in writing. Here's the way it works. All I want you to do is just give it a try. Just put it to the test, okay? Just give me 1% of your confidence and I will earn the other 99. Go through the action plan, okay? Just go through the action plan. If you don't make at least $12,000 in the next 12 months, I give you an entire year. If you don't make at least $12,000, that's one deal in 12 months. All you got to do is just send it back to me. And even if you do send it back, I'm going to let you keep all the bonuses absolutely free. And check this out. It's more than a guarantee. It's a personal promise from me. It's more than a guarantee. It's a personal promise from me. Let me ask you a question. Why do some people make money and others don't? You can make money or you can make excuses. But you know what? You can't make both. You can't make both. There are no more excuses. There's no reason in the world you can't do one deal in the next 12 months and make at least $12,000. You should be able to do that in the next 30 days. As simple as this program is, you should be able to do it in the next 30 days. But you got to get out of your comfort zone. Let me tell you something. There's no growth in the comfort zone. When you get out of the comfort zone, that's where you find success, wealth, passion, fulfillment, confidence. That's where you find financial freedom, is outside of your comfort zone. And let me tell you something that somebody told me a long time ago, and I never forgot it. In today's market, your only job security is in your ability to make money. In today's market, your only job security is in your ability to make market. I want you to look at real estate a little bit different now, okay? I don't want you to invest in real estate. Instead, I want you to think about the cash that you can get out of each property when you buy it, okay? You don't invest in real estate. And let me tell you this, the most important piece of real estate you will ever invest in is the 6 inches between your ears, okay? The most important piece of real estate you will ever invest in is the 6 inches between your ears, okay? You can literally, now you can have your own filthy riches, whatever it is that you want. Now, I told you earlier that I would tell you how you could get your filthy riches training absolutely free. And I want to tell you, I put it in writing for you in the course. Now, I'm not going to give you one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, but I am going to give you 8 different ways to get your filthy riches course absolutely free. And here's the way this works, okay? When you make your investment tonight, okay? The $997 or the easy to pay, okay? I'm going to give you 8 different ways to get your deposit, let's call it a deposit back. Number 1, close 3 hard money loans or day funding loans with us. Or Buy a wholesale house from us. And I sell my wholesale houses at 70% of the after repaired value, and that includes purchase, repairs, and closing costs. So by the time you fix up a wholesale house, you still have 30% equity in it. Or you could sell a wholesale house to me. I need to be able to turn around and sell it at 70%, but you could sell me a wholesale house as well. Or number four, buy a Filthy Riches financed house from us for as little as $1,000 down. Or buy a Filthy Riches seller finance note from me, and I sell my notes anywhere from 20 to 30% yield that you can get on the notes. Or sell a Filthy Riches seller finance note to us. I'll buy those notes from you, okay? Number seven, let me fund your first Filthy Riches deal. Okay? I will fund your first Filthy Riches deal. I'll put up the money. Yes, I want a percentage of the profits, but I'll put up the money. I'll do it, and I'm not going to check your credit. You don't have to put in an application or anything like that. You just send me the deal. Let's take a look at it. Let's close it and make some money. And the eighth way is do a deal and send me a testimonial. Send me a copy of your HUD closing statement, a copy of the check, send me a written testimonial and a picture, okay? That is the way that you get your Filthy Riches course absolutely free, okay? Let's go ahead and tell you how you can order.
Wow, Larry, that was awesome. I have at least 5 pages of notes taken. Guys, you have to go to www.jeffadams.com/Larry right now to be one of the first 12 people to take advantage of the exclusive offer. That's www.jeffadams.com/Larry. You can call my office at 1-800-574-9221. We have operators standing by. Now, when you go to jeffadams.com/Larry, you're going to see a detailed description of everything you're going to get, including all the bonuses and everything you're going to learn. And on top of that, you're going to see pictures of the course, and we do have a 2-payment plan. So again, go to www.jeffadams.com/Larry. Be one of the first 12 people to sign up tonight. Now, Larry, you said you're going to open this up for Q&A, and I have a few questions that have been submitted to the GoToWebinar panel here. Is that all right, Larry?
Yeah, man. I'll be glad
to. All right, let's do it. Here's the first question. How long will it take me to get started? I need money right now.
That is a great, great question. You know what? I designed this whole thing and put it all together knowing that most people getting started in real estate are already working a full-time job, and I know you can't get started in real estate full-time. So if you can just spend 5 to 7, maybe 10 hours a week, but 5 to 7 hours a week, you can get up and running and close your first deal in 30 to 45 days.
Well, that's awesome. All right, question number 2. Well, you just covered that. How much time we'll need to put into this to get it going? You said 5 to 7 hours a week. Okay, we got that covered. And question number 3, you said no cash or credit. I don't even have enough for the deposit. How do I get started?
Oh, well, you know what? That's the reason we offer the special pay plan. Plus, in the training, all you got to do is get the course in your hand. Once you get it in your hand, I have step-by-step exactly what you need to get all the money, not only for your deposit, but for the entire property. And remember, we're only talking about, a $5,000 to $10,000 house here. We're not talking about a lot of money, okay? And I'm going to show you every single way to get the money to fund and close on your deal, and none of it requires you filling out a credit application.
That's awesome, awesome. All right, question number 4. How can you make a 12-month, $12,000 guarantee and put it in writing, Larry?
I do get that quite a bit. And it actually is in writing. As I mentioned before, in your training, you're going to have a sheet that says, read this first. And it's in writing on your read this first sheet. And the person who asked the question, let me tell you something. The reason I can do this is, remember, I've got a vested interest in your success. Yes, I make a couple of bucks on the books and tapes. Big deal. I want to buy houses from you. I want to sell houses to you. I want to do deals with you. I want to fund your deal. I want to buy a note from you. I want to sell a note to you. I want to do deals with you. And see, I don't want to be pushing a parked car. I've got a whole team here, business consultants. We're going to help get you up and running. We're going to guide you through our next deal, and we're going to help you do this. We're going to help you take it from bookcase to bank account. We're going to help you finally stop buying courses and start buying houses. All you need to do is go over to jeffadams.com/Larry or call the toll-free number. It's toll-free, 800-574-9221, and take action. And I promise you, if you just give me 1% of your confidence, I will earn the other 99.
Hey, that's awesome, Larry. And one last question here. What kind of support do you actually give? Email only, or can I talk to you?
That's a great, great question. And I do prefer email, and I'll tell you why I prefer email is because I can answer email a lot quicker than it is to get me on the phone. However, we not only do email, but we also do phone support as well. So if I can't answer your question by email, we'll pick up the phone and call you, and you can talk to me. I was talking to a student earlier today in my office that they just called in and said, hey, is Larry there? And, hey, they transferred the call to me. I picked up the phone and talked to them. And that's how easy it is. It's not like I'm not attainable or you can't reach me or you can't find me. I've got a full-time office right here in Lake Wiley, South Carolina, and we're doing deals all over. As I mentioned before, I've done deals in 10 different states right from my office in Lake Wiley. So we're going to make sure you get the support you need, whether it's email or phone or whatever.
Hey, that's awesome, Larry. I'll tell you what, folks, what we're going to do, we're done with the questions now, so why don't you go to www.jeffadams.com/Larry. You can call my office to place your order right now. Hey, Larry, do you have any parting words?
I really do, Jeff. If you don't mind, I would like to take just a few minutes and talk to the people who took action over at jeffadams.com/Larry. And before we do that, before I talk to everybody who took action, I want to tell everybody else, thank you so much for being on. I hope you got a lot out of this. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope it was well worth your time. I tried to pour absolutely as much as I could into this. But so the webinar's over. I really appreciate it, and thanks a lot. I hope you have a great night. Now, for those of you who took action over jeffadams.com or /Larry, or you called the toll-free number, I just want to say, thank you, thank you, thank you for your business. I really, really look forward to working with you. You were in for a treat. Now, I know you've bought courses in the past, but remember, I've got a vested interest in your success. And remember, I told you before, I don't want to be pushing a parked car. We are going to work with you. Now, there's a couple of extra things that you're going to get in your training. There's a 4-step quick start checklist, okay? And there's just 4 things you need to do to get up and running. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we lay them right out there for you, and we help you get going. You're going to get my personal email and phone number so you can email me or call me when you're making offers. Guys, I'll even get on a 3-way call with you and help you, or one of my team members will if we need to help you get going, okay? Now, another thing, I've got a couple of extra bonuses that you didn't even know you were going to get. See, when you get your course, I want you to have that wow factor. I want you to open it up and say, wow, I don't remember Larry talking about this. This is great. I don't remember that. That's great. See, I'm a firm believer in giving people more than they expect. And I really appreciate your confidence in me, and I won't let you down. Now, all of our training ships out from our office in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. It doesn't come from Texas or Utah or California or anywhere else. It comes right from Lake Wiley. We control it, so I've got some extra bonuses that I'm going to put in there for you as well. And you should get your training in about 5 to 7 days, okay? Depending on where you live, but you should get it in about 5 to 7 days. So just remember, I'm here to help you. And we look forward to your success in helping you create your own filthy riches. And Jeff, hey buddy, thanks a lot for having me on. I hope your students got a lot of good information out of this.
Yeah, the call was awesome, Larry. I really appreciate all your input. And folks, I can tell you this right now. I've been out to Larry's office. I've seen his operation. I mean, he's buying houses all over the place. He's the real deal. He's not one of these fly-by-night so-called gurus out there that, got started 2 years ago and is now conquering the world and trying to portray something that he's not. He's the real deal. I mean, licensed broker, president of a real estate investing club. He's actually in the business, been through several different market cycles. That's key, folks. I can tell you this right now. Real estate's always changing. You have to know different market cycles, and Larry is a master at navigating through the different market cycles that come up. So to be one of the first 12 people to get signed up, go to www.jeffadams.com/Larry. That's www.jeffadams.com/Larry. And also call my office at 1-800-574-9221. We do have operators standing by. Hey, thank you, Larry, for all your time and giving us great information you gave out on the call here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, it's no problem. It's my pleasure. I really appreciate you having me on. And, guys, if you're still on, if we didn't get to your question, or if you think of a question right now you want to submit before it's over, just submit your question right there on the dashboard, and we'll make sure we get in touch with you and get it answered for you. So thanks a lot, everybody. I really appreciate it. Look forward to working with you, and have a great day.